Hey guys, welcome aboard. Today we're going to be flying on Spirit Airlines from sunny San Diego to Oakland International Airport. Welcome aboard Spirit Airlines. Am I crazy for choosing them? Or will this turn out to be a bargain flight? That and much more in this video. First off, Spirit has one of the newest fleets in the industry. Sure, they're known for slim seats, but honestly, every airline is going to put you in pretty slim seats with similar dimensions if you're flying economy. We'll get into that later. Boarding today was super smooth. San Diego has an easy-to-use rental car shuttle, short security lines under 15 minutes today, and a small terminal meant it was just a 5-minute walk to our gate. When it came to check-in, the counters at Spirit were practically empty. Seems like no one wants to pay the extra fee to check in person or add in checked bags. Pro tip, if you plan ahead and book your checked bags online when you make your reservation, it's way cheaper than paying for it at the airport. Now let's talk about passenger experience. A lot of people like to talk smack about Spirit, but I think a lot of that comes from people buying the wrong fare class, buying the bare bones plane ticket that doesn't include carry-on items, checked baggage, or the ability to choose a seat next to family members. I get it though, if you're booking a flight weeks or month in advance, you're probably looking for the lowest ticket prices, but not being realistic about what you actually might need to bring on your trip. It's like that same feeling of regret you get for buying the 6 a.m. flight only to save $20–30. Travelers think they can just sneak everything on in a backpack that can fit under their seat. Unless you're planning to go for a weekend and plan to bring 1 or 2 changes of clothes, this probably isn't practical. So the best value you would get on Spirit Airlines is booking their second cheapest tier, which they call their Go Savvy class. It includes all the basics: a free carry-on item, an underseat item, an earlier boarding group, and the ability to choose a seat, which is especially important if you're flying with family or friends, at a fair price that consistently beats Southwest and other legacy carriers. The only thing that I think Spirit lacks is frequency between city routes, meaning passengers have to be more flexible about when they choose to depart. Spirit does offer same-day standby, so if you can find a spot on an earlier flight, that is an option just like with Southwest. And for connectivity, I was quite impressed by how many destinations Spirit flies to, from all across North America into the Caribbean and deep into South America. Here's a cool shot capturing the familiar Airbus dog barking sound when we were taxiing. That's the signature A320 power transfer unit below us, balancing hydraulic pressure to help us move the slats, flaps, and landing gear. And now we're ready to roll. Runway 27, headed back to Oakland. San Diego Airport is the nation's busiest single runway operation. We departed to the northwest with beautiful views of San Diego Bay, Naval Air Station in Coronado, backdropped by the Pacific Ocean. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Climbing over the Pacific, we spotted a Navy frigate headed back into San Diego Bay. Free food and drinks are only available to passengers in the front 2 rows, in the big front seat class. For the rest of us, food and beverages, including water, are only available for purchase. But for a domestic flight, this wasn't really a deal breaker because you're able to bring granola bars, a bottle of water, or even a sandwich on board. There was ample restaurants for food shopping before you get on your flight. In terms of the cabin itself, it was comfortable. It has the modern Airbus A320 interior. This specific A320 was built in 2014 and delivered to Spirit Airlines directly from Toulouse, France. Here's the view of Catalina Island with the military San Clemente Island behind it. Towards the left side is the quaint town of Avalon. A few minutes later, we fly over Malibu, and to the west, Point Dume. Seats were slim, but they weren't uncomfortable. I think the padding was sufficient on a domestic flight. And for the lack of televisions behind the seats, I think that's a pretty common model on airlines today. Lufthansa didn't have PTVs behind their seats, neither did Southwest or Alaska Airlines. So in terms of seats, I don't think Spirit is that different from industry standards if you're flying on economy. But one thing I did notice that can be improved was the tiny tray tables. These tray tables are absurdly small. You couldn't put a laptop there, they barely fit a tablet or a phone, and if you put a drink on, I was afraid I would spill it. These tables don't really improve legroom compared to a full-size table, so I'm not sure why Spirit installed these. Maybe for marginal weight savings? And the other thing that was hilarious? The lack of a mesh bag to store the safety cards and personal items behind the seats. On Spirit, these are just a few bungee cords that are tightly wound, and things just fall out easily. These small cheap touches leave lasting impressions on passengers. Look at that mesmerizing atmospheric river forming off the west coast. This same storm dropped several feet of snow in the Sierras and closed mountain passes for a day. Because I like to stare outside so much and film, I was disappointed how the protective paint on the A320 window was so scratched up. But I think scratched up windows are pretty common across A320s. I remember encountering similarly scratched windows on Scandinavian and Finnair A320s. Compared to Boeing's, I've noticed that Airbus windows scratch more easily and fog up more frequently between the inner and outer panes. Let me know if you guys encountered this trend in the comments below. Our ride up the California coast is coming to an end as we approach the Bay Area, descending over Monterey, then over San Jose, Silicon Valley with great views of Fremont and the San Francisco Bay. Welcome to Oakland Airport. So what did I think about Spirit after this flight? I think Spirit is solid. It's not much different than other domestic airlines. And honestly, not having free snacks or drinks aren't a big deal. Just be sure to pack some snacks and a water bottle and you'll be just fine. So would I fly Spirit again? Absolutely, if the price is right and if they have the departure times I need. For a domestic trip like this, I think Spirit is perfect. And to wrap up this video, a quick cockpit visit for our AV geeks. Always a treat seeing how elegant the A320 cockpit looks. If you enjoyed this video about riding on Spirit Airlines, please add a like and subscribe to my channel for more aviation related content like this. Thanks again for watching.